Hey team, Matt Young coming at you from beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. I'm a former dual sport collegiate athlete, a multi-sport high school athlete, and I've kept up movement, activity, and sport well into my older ages because, quite frankly, I like the way it makes me feel. I like meeting like-minded people, and I love what youth sport does for the community in terms of bringing people together. I've coached for over 20 years, multiple sports, multiple age groups, from little leaguers at 5 years old to high performance athletes competing at the biggest stages in the world. And I've consulted over 50 organizations, from the grassroots community organizations to the provincial, national, and Olympic levels of sport. I've seen and heard and got a lot of experience in and around sport. I was asked to talk today about what advice I would give to parents and coaches. And the number one piece of advice I'd give to parents and coaches is know your role. And it seems quite easy, but it's not. And there's three things I want to specifically address in knowing your role. Number one is becoming a student of the game in terms of support. Do your homework. Understand that what kids value from their sport experience is fun, friends, fair play, friendly competition, and finishing the season better than they started. They don't often say development. They just want to get better at their skills. So as coaches and parents, think about how you are going to foster an environment where we can track and evaluate that progress and support that progress. For coaches, you're going to want to think about development being more than just technical, tactical expertise. We're going to think about things like culture, character, connection, and confidence, as well as physical and technical, tactical competence. So at the beginning of your season, think about what that might look like for your age and stage that you're working with. Set some parameters, baseline the kids and where they are, bring them into that process, reevaluate them mid-season so that we can address any gaps and opportunities, and then evaluate them again at the end of the season so that they and we understand what their own progression and journey entailed. That's development. When we talk about development, we got to talk about this whole high performance ruse. First of all, lots of parents ask me, how do I know if my kid's a high performer? If you're asking that question, they're not a high performer, because kids who are high performers and parents of kids who are high performers know they're high performers. They take internal control over their environment. You don't need to tell them to go practice this, work on that. You don't need to tell them that to get off their phones. They are committed, just like anyone else who's exceptional in their field, job, career, anything. It's the same thing for sport and high performance. You will know if your kid has an affinity for one sport and doing that, and that's okay, because a small percent of them are. And again, in doing your homework, understand that percent's 2%. That's right, 2% of all kids who play sports will ever reach that high performance level. So for 98% of the kids who play sports, this is all about what we talked about: fun, friends, fair play, but it's also a critical dress rehearsal for real life, where they're going to get to learn all of the essentials of life: winning, losing, feedback, roles, responsibilities, teamwork, in a very, very soft setting and forgiving setting if they make mistakes. That's why we get to come back week after week after week and practice. So remember that. It's a dress rehearsal for real life. And coaches, great coaching is not aggregating exceptional talent and then kicking the crap out of inferior opponents. That's not the mark of a great coach. The mark of a great coach is finishing the season better than you started across the mutually agreed upon criteria like we spoke about. So understand that as a coach, understand that as a parent, and expect that from the kids' sport experience. Secondly, within your knowing your role is support. Your role as a coach or as a parent is 100% support. Good days, bad days, thick and thin. The 7 most powerful words in youth sport: I just love to watch you play. And given the coming out of COVID, giving the rise in mental health crisis, giving the and issues, given the number of days that kids are isolated on their phones, we need to create that emotional and social connection now more than ever. So as parents and coaches, think about what it is that you're going to do and changes that you're going to make sure that that happens. Parents, it's not about you. It doesn't matter where you played or what level you played. Coaches, it's not about your win-loss resume. It's not about that at all. It's about you creating a kid-centric environment and supporting the heck out of that. And if for 98% of kids, sport is a dress rehearsal for real life, wow, what a great example that is. With that support comes the responsibility of having a voice, and this is critical. If you see something that's wrong, you say something. Too many times, parents don't say anything and coaches don't say anything about toxic environments or things that are going wrong out of fear of being blackballed or blacklisted or something happening to my kids. If your kid is in a toxic environment and you don't say anything for fear of retribution or you'll hurt them, it's too late. You're already hurting them. They're already having a bad experience. We're the adults in the situation. We need to set the table and of what's right, what's wrong, what's acceptable, and what's unacceptable. If you're a parent and you have an issue with something that's going wrong in your organization or team, think about how you're going to present that, how you're going to bring it up, seek to understand, think about the time, think about the tone that we use. We're adults. We know how to have conflict resolution. Let's get better at that. Let's not sit in the stands and gab about something else. If we got a problem, let's address the person that can help us solve that problem and create positive environments. With that whole doing your homework, making sure that you're supported and finding your voice, let's make sure we're positive examples to more than just our kids and more than just our athletes. Because it's not just what we're saying, it's what we're doing too. Kids are watching us all the time. And what a great opportunity that is for us as parents and coaches to be a great example for as many as possible, as long as possible, in the best environments possible. We're supporting not only our kids, but our kids' teammates, our kids' coaches, the officials that are on the ice, our kids' sport organizations. Contribute, help out. Many hands make light work. We're all busy. Sport isn't important. It's too important to just sit on the sidelines and act like it's a transaction. Drop the kid off, pay the fee, pick them up, complain about the winner game or loss or coach or something else. That's not what sport is. It's not what it was designed, and it's not how we get to as many as possible, as long as possible, in the best environment possible. So again, my biggest advice, just one person's opinion, one person's advice who's played a lot of sport and been a lot in and around sport. Know your role. Do your research, be the support, and have a positive voice. Now go get it.